thing working. Stream settings. Okay, how do I do the dual stream thing? Okay. Actually, okay, here's what we're gonna do then. It looks like... Okay, I'm gonna center this. So then we can, There we go. Okay, so now my face cam is gonna be set. Okay, so for this stream, we're gonna have my face cam be centered. Because, from the looks of it... Yeah, it's gonna be... Looks like there's gonna be... Okay, perfect. Alright, there we go. But, yeah, okay, so I'm testing out this new YouTube feature, dual streaming. So, pretty much... Absolutely W idea from YouTube, though. Hopefully this works. Hopefully this works. Okay, we're just gonna make that a little bit bigger. Because I don't want to, like, cut out anything important on the stream. Okay, so pretty much today, what I wanted to start out doing is, what's it called? I want to, actually, wait, hang on. Hang on. I'm gonna see if I can, crop. Transform. Because, like, I don't want it to, like, cover anything important. But we're gonna get into, hang on. I wanted to start out with the game theory video because they just made a secret of the mimic.
This is the
Yeah, I'm 10 days late. But we're gonna try watching this.
17 Pro?
Just for clarification. Obviously. But I just want to make sure that obvious things are very obvious. I don't own this video. I didn't make this video. Big shocker. Game Theory made this video. So, yeah. I do not own this. I do not claim to own this. Definitely don't claim to own this. Link will be in the description. And it's been 10 days, so I think it's fair. I'd say that's fair to say. I think, like, usually after a couple days when most of the views pour in, I think it's fair. Hello there. Thank you for stopping in. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name. But yeah, I'm putting the link into the description right now. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So yeah, I'm obviously reacting to this. Not mine. So here we go. Holy crap. I did not realize this video was 2 hours long. Yeah, we might have to give this a couple streams.
This is the complete lore of Secret of the Mimic. 2025 was a big year for Fnaf. We finished off the interactive novel series, the second movie hit theaters, and of course, the crown jewel of summer 2025, and
The Mimic!
Actual Fnaf game, Secret of the Mimic. A game that promised to answer all of our questions about the earliest parts of the franchise. And there was a lot to talk about. Plus, we all know how complicated Fnaf can be. It's hard to keep track of all the theories at the best of times.
Yep.
So I figured I'd give you guys a little gift and package all of our Secret of the Mimic theories up into one convenient little present that you can enjoy. Here is everything you need to know about Fnaf Secret of the Mimic.
Okay, so here's my. Okay, wow, that's really cool how they recreated that. That's really cool. So with like the secret of the mimic type like design for the game theory, that's really cool. So here's a. Honestly, I don't really know what the secret of the mimic is. That's what's funny is I thought the game was gonna tell us what the secret of the mimic was, and I don't know if I missed something, but I'm pretty sure we didn't get the secret of the mimic, dude. What was the secret? Like I don't understand what it was. Like I don't know. Hopefully this video will help us. But here's a really interesting theory I heard. So pretty much what the theory was is that okay, so throughout the game, we would see these we see in like the mail logs. One of the mail logs it said something about we technically own this property and we're not going to seize it. I forgot exactly what it was. It was something about seizing the property of Murray's Costume Manor, and people are theorizing that that's William Afton because we kind of see throughout the game that Fazbear Entertainment, more likely just William Afton, was systematically what's it called? Systematically sabotaging Murray's Costume Manor for whatever reason. Maybe it was trying. My working theory is that he was trying to knock out competition potentially, and then yeah. So yeah, and then down in the tunnel when we're going up to Murray's mansion, it says like 611 due loans overdue, blah blah blah. So obviously Murray at one point was in debt. So I think William bought the land, and then Murray's what's called mansion became the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 house because take a look, it's up on a hill, and then take a look at the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 loading screen. That's also on a hill. And then what's called the bedroom in the secret ending. I did not notice this at first, probably because I was seething at how bad the secret ending was and how much work I had to put into the secret ending. It's very closely. It looks a lot like the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 room. Like there's the same. It's like it's got the same wallpaper, the same toys, and then after that was said, or after that was discovered, people were saying maybe Murray's Costume Manor became Circus Baby's entertainment and rental. Because think about it. It became Murray's Costume Manor where, yeah, you rent out the costumes, rent or make costumes, sell them out. But then it becomes Circus Baby's, what's it called? Location for that. But anyway, but yeah, that's the huge theory. Pretty much another thing that kind of makes me think that is that, this part is my own thought. So you know how we have to, like, when we're at the manor and then we have to ride that tunnel to the house? Well, imagine this. You go down the elevator in sister location. What do you have to do to get to the main thing? You have to crawl through a big vent. So I'm just like, interesting. It almost looked like, and then when you enter the thing, there's like the caution tape. It's almost like they were doing construction or something. So that's what really interests me. Hello. Thanks for stopping in. Seems like we're getting a lot of new faces in here today. But yeah, everyone be sure to like and subscribe. We are Five Nights at Freddy's, huge Five Nights at Freddy's enthusiasts here. You guys can't see it. Ooh, the Faz wrench. The guy got a Faz cam up here. Yeah, not to show off, but yeah, I kind of made these. But yeah, anyway, yeah, we're doing Five Nights at Freddy's. Now into the video.
Hello, Internet!
Enough of my yapping. We're at
Welcome
2 hours
to Game
here.
Theory, the show that's jaw has been hanging open like
Thanks,
a
bro.
badly made cheek
Thank you very much, bro. Very appreciate the support.
costume ever since the release of Fnaf's Secret of the Mimic. And I'm not alone in that feeling. Every single
Wait,
has
say that
been
again.
everything you need to know about Fnaf Secret of the Mimic. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's jaw has been hanging open like a badly made Chica costume ever since the release of Fnaf's Secret of the Mimic. And I'm not alone in that feeling. Every single YouTuber has been completely sideswiped by this game.
Chica! I can't believe we got Chica! Hey!
Oh my god, there she is!
That's insane!
Why has it taken us all by surprise? Well, besides the fact the game
Because it's a complete 180 from Secret of the Mimic, that's probably what it was. Or, security breach. This is Secret of the Mimic. Oh, okay, nice. That's awesome. But yeah, thanks for stopping in. That's good. That means the algorithm's pushing it out. And we got 7 viewers. So once again, everyone be sure to like and subscribe for more Five Nights at Freddy's. But yeah, the reason why this one sideswiped everyone is because people had pretty low expectations from Security Breach. But still, I still think this game was really solid. Not just because it was better than Security Breach. I still think it was very solid.
Actually works, mostly. It also did something
Yeah, I
that
will say something about that is the pixels sometimes don't render correctly. Security Breach had a lot more of those issues, but this one, Secret of the Mimic, had a lot of that more fleshed out.
is completely unheard of in a FNAF game. They actually gave us a story. And I don't mean the super cryptic kind that we have to spend years and years figuring out. I mean the kind that actually helps us move forward in this franchise. For a long time, the community has been frustrated with the...
Okay, I'm kind of glad they see it this way. Secret of the Mimic definitely had a lot more lore. Okay, I guess it's a mixed bag. I'm from United States. I'm in the United States. But pretty much, it's a mixed bag. I think there was a lot... They did really good on the lore for Secret of the Mimic. Yeah, you know what? Actually, you know what? I don't even know what I was saying. I don't even know what I was about to say. Secret of the Mimic does good with lore.
Lack of clarification out there for this series. It's been years of theory upon theory upon theory. And while we have come to certain agreements for parts of it, there are still massive sections of the lore that we haven't been able to agree on simply because there's no...
Oh yeah, guys, and I'm not entirely sure, but so pretty much I'm testing out a new YouTube feature where it's like it's a dual streaming where I have a regular stream and then a short stream. If there's a button to watch the what's it called? The non-short stream, I highly recommend doing that because you can see a lot more. You can see a lot more for the video. Oh, you're from Palestine? Oh. Oh. Wait, that's weird. Are you changing your name? That's weird. Oh, that's weird. How'd you do that? I don't know. I'm not really into that stuff. But anyway, we're here for Five Nights at Freddy's, so let's keep listening.
Really been a solid foundation to jump off of. But now, after 11 years of this franchise, Secret of the Mimic came as the earliest entry in the FNAF timeline and said, guys, I got you. Giving us relatively clear breakdowns of how the early years of Fazbear came to be, as well as throwing a bunch of hand cranks into the works that make us question everything we knew about this franchise. There's timelines that have been displaced, character personas completely shattered.
Oh, okay, so I never saw that. So the Fall Fest was 1970. That's 1970, the Fall Fest. So this is taking place 9 years after the Fall Fest. You know what? Let me grab my notebook. Or not my notebook, my post-it notes, because that's all I got to write on right now. I'm going to be taking notes. Because the game takes place in 1979, we know that for sure.
Understandings of where the future of this franchise is going totally flipped on its head. Let's start from the beginning. We jump into the game as a lowly mechanic working for the wonderful as always Fazbear Entertainment. Our name is Arnold, and we've just gotten off of a 36-hour shift.
Yeah, I don't see people talking about that enough. Dude, how are we, like, functioning like any other character in the series when we are coming off a 36-hour consecutive shift, dude? And then Secret of the Mimic, like, hang on, I don't know, what's the average playthrough time? Let me look at this real quick. Sorry, I don't want to keep pausing it, but obviously I want to, like, add a lot to the video instead. Secret of the Mimic full game. Okay, 2 hours. Okay, so yeah, that's... Somebody finished it in 3 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours. Okay, so let's just say for time's sake, 4 hours. I guess, but yeah. Yo, what up, Blue Shadow Hedgehog? So yeah, so pretty much, I guess it was another 4 hours, so I guess compared to that 36-hour shift. But still, Arnold's like running around this entire facility, dude. I don't know what he was exactly doing beforehand, but oh my gosh, dude. Crazy. Point being, no matter what, he was working 36 hours, and now he has to run around this costume manor for another 4 hours.
to be called in for one last job to help recover some Fazbear assets from one of their contractors, Edwin Murray. Begrudgingly, we head to Murray's costume manor, only to discover the asset is a set of blueprints for a killer animatronic endoskeleton that can fit into any costume and learn the role of any character or person, the Mimic. We gain access to
Mimic.
different areas of the facility by upgrading our data diver with different permissions, from basic to security, repair, all the way up to executive privileges, all while trying to outrun or outweight the Mimic.
He's going for it.
Eventually, we get our hands on the blueprints, only to discover that it wasn't Fazbear talking to us through dispatch. It was the Mimic pretending to be them to get their hands on the data.
Here's what I'm confused about. What's it called? I'm confused about the dispatch. So we find out in the end that it wasn't the real dispatch. My question is, was it the Fiona Mimic or is it this Mimic? Something tells me it's not this Mimic, because when you're in the Springlock suit and you're like closing the doors, it says like, it cannot see you, but I can. So I got a feeling it's not this Mimic, because if that Mimic's saying that, then he knows we're in the frickin' suit. And then, so why wouldn't he just kill us then?
Diver. This leads to one of three endings where we either escape and get killed by the Mimic, we escape and get killed by the Mimic, or we...
I'm just like, those two endings are so similar when you boil them down. I mean, the cutscene, you boil them down, you just get killed by the Mimic. Killed by the Mimic. Yeah, I'm... 6 of it. I'm not.
fix the Mimic and then just stand there watching it sleep. Now, these guys deserve an episode of their own.
Worst ending, by the way. That was so... That ending made me so unfathomably angry, because I had to go through that whole entire, like... Had to go get all the collectibles. Had to go through the game 4 times. And then, yeah, had to go through that long game within a game that was so visually unappealing, because obviously it was 1979. Bro, I was so mad.
Because whichever one is canon could have massive implications that I just don't have time to get into right now. Instead, let's turn our attention to the stuff we can discover during the game, and the first of our big three characters, Edwin Murray. If you're a longtime viewer of this channel, or you're one of the people who understands my pain and has actually read the books, then that name isn't anything new. Edwin Murray is a character that we were introduced to in both The Storyteller and The Mimic from the Tales from the Peterplex series. His company was bought out by Fazbear. He created the Mimic to babysit his son David, but his son tragically died. And because the Mimic kept mimicking his dead son, he beat the thing up, teaching it violence, and then showed up 40 years later trying to stop it. However, when The Secret of the Mimic's creative director Evan Lampe said to Dorco,
"If you've read the books, you don't know the full story."
He wasn't kidding. The story of Edwin goes so much deeper and is...
Okay, but is he saying... Okay, Hayden, I get it. The Forge. We're talking about Freddy Fazbear right now. We're doing Freddy Fazbear. Okay, so what he's saying is, like, you don't know the full story. Is that implying that the Tales of the Pizzaplex books are canon to the games? I don't know. Hang on. I need to re-listen to this, because I'm not... sometimes I need to hear something twice. I don't know why. Sometimes I can't just, like... I can't wrap my head around something.
Implications that I just don't have time to get into right now. Instead, let's turn our attention to the stuff we can discover during the game, and the first of our big three characters, Edwin Murray. If you're a longtime viewer of this channel, or you're one of the people who understands my pain and has actually read the books, then that name isn't anything new. Edwin Murray is a character that we were introduced to in both The Storyteller and The Mimic from the Tales from the Peterplex series. His company was bought out by Fazbear. He created the Mimic to babysit his son David, but his son tragically died. And because the Mimic kept mimicking his dead son, he beat the thing up, teaching it violence, and then showed up 40 years later trying to stop it. However, when The Secret of the Mimic's creative director Evan Lampe...
Okay, so that was about the story. Okay, that's good. That's good insight. So we do know that his company, that Murray's Costume Manor was bought out by Fazbear Entertainment. But then the question is... Okay, hang on, never mind. That's opening a whole can of worms. We're not going to go into that right now. Let's just listen.
said to Dorco,
If you've read the books, you don't know the full story.
he wasn't kidding. The story of Edwin goes so much deeper and is so much more tragic than we could have ever realized. As Arnold explores Murray's costume manor, we can find audio recordings and mailboxes containing digital text logs that give us the real story of what happened to this place. It was originally owned by Edwin's father, who we'll call Murray Sr. Edwin Murray works for him.
Edwin Murray. This is my dad's place.
You know, because nepotism. But Edwin is the quirky inventor type, and to test out his new voice recorder creation, he seeks out one of the new employees and former puppeteers.
Excuse me, can I borrow your voice for a project?
Oh, what for? I don't even know you. I'm brand new here. Let's start again. I'm Fiona.
Murray Sr. then passes away and leaves the whole thing to Edwin, who rebrands everything to bring his wacky inventions to life.
Maybe rebrand? We could start making some of my inventions for real.
Together with Fiona, they
Sorry, you guys
invent
have seen
a
the bar?
bunch of wild tech, like a coffee machine that can learn your coffee preferences to make the perfect cup, a coat hanger that can adjust to any size you need, and an adorable vacuum cleaner. Oh, just look at him with his tiny little brooms and his little dumpy. Anyway, alongside this, he is
Wait, what?
also making a bunch of costumes, which I suppose makes sense given that's the name of the business. But the characters we see are interesting if you're a Fnaf fan. We see a handful of characters that you might recognize, like Pirate and Cowgirl Roxy, Hillbilly Monty, a
Yeah, this is something that always really this is something that I find kind of strange about the series, is that Murray's costume manor. Okay, so he jumped from Security Breach, one of the latest games in the franchise in terms of like the lore. It's in the latest on the timeline. Latest game in the timeline. And then we jump all the way back to the beginning of the timeline. And then we see stuff like Roxy and Monty. Iterations of Roxy and Monty. Yet throughout the entire series, from the first game up until right before Security Breach, they were never a thing. So my question is, why did Fazbear Entertainment all of a sudden just be like, oh yeah, let's use Roxy now. Let's use Monty now.
puppet pirate Foxy, and the big one, a rollerblading costume of Chica.
It is. That's freaking Chica.
Let's party.
She really was the first, wasn't she? But besides
That's what that's what I said on my stream the other day when I was finding Secret of the Mimic. I literally said, what's it called? It really brought a whole new meaning to the I was the first, I've seen everything. I literally brought that up, bro. They stole that from me. I'm just kidding. They didn't. I'm just kidding.
Chica, who Edwin and Fiona were specifically hired to make for a client, Chica's Party World. Yes, that Chica's Party World. All of these other characters were rentable or purchasable from Murray's costume manor, meaning Edwin owned these characters. They weren't originally Fazbear's. However, Fazbear was around as another
Hang on one second.
one of Edwin's
sorry.
clients, taking interest in his technological genius, even to the point where Edwin refers to Henry as simply Hen in the audio logs, presumably because they have a level of familiarity and friendship thanks to their shared technological creativity.
I don't
This
remember.
season, you've got places
Oh
to
my gosh, bro, ads. I don't remember him referring to Henry at all.
Got the change order from Hen last night.
Oh,
They
wait.
don't
Yes, I remember that. Never mind.
think of me as a friend anymore.
But the real tragedy of Edwin comes from when we look at his family. I've mentioned his wife Fiona, but he also has a son named David, just like he did in the Tales from the Pizzaplex book series. Unlike that series though, Fiona doesn't die in childbirth. She's still around during David's early years, until she tragically passes away, leaving Edwin to run the business and raise David all on his own.
From the fire in the Fall Fest, which we learn about in the Curse of Dreadbear, which I have not played that yet. I just know that there was a fall pest, and then when I heard fall pest, I'm just like, wait a minute, what's that from? Oh right, yeah, right, that's Curse of Dreadbear. I gotta get done with these games, man. I gotta finish the games. I gotta read the books. I gotta equip myself with everything because I got a bunch of the Fazbear Frights to read. I gotta read all the Tales of the Pizza Plexes. I just don't like reading. That's my issue. Then I gotta read the novels too. But anyway, I digress. Let's go.
Leading Edwin to come up with the only logical solution: build an animatronic that can babysit David. Obviously, he creates the M1 mimic, but something strange happens. It begins to not just look after David, but mimic Edwin's dead wife, Fiona. The family is back together again, until it's not. One day, David dies outside the facility, leaving Edwin completely devastated. At the same time, the business is completely crumbling around him, but M1 Fiona has a solution: make another one of her.
Edwin, you can't put it off any longer. You need to try again. Build another.
Make another mimic that would now mimic David.
Yep, I know. I need to read the novels. I have the graphic novels if that helps, so maybe it'll help me read it more.
So that they could be together again. Edwin isn't convinced at first, but eventually he gives in. He takes M1 out of the endoskeleton, copies the program, and creates M2, putting the new program into the endoskeleton. And it works. M2 begins acting like David, but it's too much for Edwin to handle, and he snaps, beating the animatronic, breaking its legs, and teaching it the valuable lesson of violence that Arnold now gets to experience firsthand. With
You know, if you had the knowledge to be able to create such a technological advancement, you would imagine that he'd be smart enough to not teach violence to something that soaks everything up like a sponge. Like really?
that failure under his belt and the business still struggling, Edwin locks himself away with his final Fazbear project, a restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. But M2 has other plans. It destroys the house, and Edwin is never seen
Wait, what?
legs, and teaching it the valuable lesson of violence that Arnold now gets to experience firsthand. With that failure under his belt and the business still struggling, Edwin locks himself away with his final Fazbear project, a restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. But M2 has other plans. It destroys the house, and Edwin is never seen or heard from again. It's a real sad ending, but you see what I mean about how it upends a lot of what we thought we knew. We've got characters we thought were Fazbears now created by someone else. We've got a wildly different setup to Edwin and his family than we saw in the books, and this is just the top level stuff that's been given to us on a plate. The more you dig into these things, the more things begin to change and shift our understanding of the entire franchise. But we've got some time, so let's keep things simple for now. We've been given a bunch of information about Edwin, his family, and his company. But what is the timeline of these events? This is FNAF after all. Timelines are a staple for FNAF theorists everywhere.
This is obvious, bro. We literally just talked about this. This fits in the timeline like the first thing. It's the first thing in the timeline.
And I don't just mean a vague order
around
of events.
Fredbear's
I mean
Family
cold,
Diner.
hard dates. Well, as you might expect, this game is...
Okay, so this is gonna be good. We're getting cold hard. Yeah, we're getting cold hard facts here, like specific dates. I hope they're able to find something that's hard confirms.
Pretty careful to leave those sorts of details hidden, only giving us months or days for dates at best. They even block out years so we can't place exact details. But when has that ever stopped us before? Let's start with the very first teaser for this game. In it, we saw the number 1979 showing
that's
up
where it
on a
takes place.
film reel, giving us a pretty good indication that that was when this game would take place. And once we boot up the game, that does seem to still be the case. In Arnold's van, we come across his work order to collect an endoskeleton from Murray's Costume Manor. The job he is literally on. That work order contains both an issue date and a signing date, which both end up being the same date, September 7th, 1979. I suppose that means that the mimic not only faked Dispatch's voice,
Okay, I saw that. okay, that was one of the things I grabbed in the van. I couldn't make out what the month was, and I thought they were like trying to hide it, and I'm just like, what the heck, dude? They're hiding. Just give us that. But I guess I just couldn't see it because it was blocked by something.
But also sent a fake work order? And wait, does that mean that Arnold has a fax machine hidden in this van? What other mysteries does this van hold? Oh, Arnold, you teasing enigma. So, okay, we have the end of our timeline for this game, but as I've kind of already mentioned, that's like the least interesting part of this game's story. We're really here for the Edwin Murray drama. But don't worry, I think we can figure that one out too, thanks to FNAF's longest running trope. Dead kids. Well, kid, specifically his son, David Murray. At the end of the game, you're given a choice. Either give the data diver back or execute something called parachute.exe. This opens up a hatch in the floor leading to the R&D department and the Murray's house that's on top of the hill near the factory. While trying to avoid M2,
I got this.
Bad.
you can come across 5 film reels showing some good old-fashioned Murray family home video for David's birthdays. The first is a little uneventful. He gets scared by a new Pirate Roxy puppet and is given his iconic white tiger plushie. The second, Edwin misses because he's too busy working. The third, Edwin breaks the news to David that Mummy isn't coming back. By the fourth, we see Edwin give David his slide that we see out the front of Murray's costume manor, with the robotic voice of M1 Fiona coming from off screen. And then finally, we get number 5, where we see Fiona in all her mimicky animatronic glory. She made a cake for David's birthday and is asked to go outside and collect David before the party gets.
Oh yeah, and by the way, that playground that we see, that is seen, I can't remember if it was in plain view, but like when you walk in, when you open that gate and there's that big, I don't know, big junkyard stuff. If you go all the way down vertically, you'll see the playground, and then there's even the red ball. Even the red ball is sitting there.
Started. And it's that last video that is crucial to solving this mystery. When M1 Fiona presents her cake, we can see the room she's in, and it's not the Murray's family home like all the others. This is actually an office inside.
Oh, right. Because what's it called? You get data logs about that. You get data logs about his birthday being held in that the office.
Murray's costume manor. And we know that because if you're willing to spend a lot of time avoiding rollerblading Chica, you actually get to see this room firsthand, complete with all the same decorations.
Oh my gosh. Happy birthday, David.
The place looks abandoned. The food has been there a while, now all molded over. And we find out why, thanks to the text logs that we have to collect to figure out the password for this room. On December 1st, Edwin sends out a work memo telling the workers that they need to be here on Saturday for David's party. Then there's a bunch of more light-hearted, jokey messages between the other employees about the room code, but on the 6th, the tone shifts. A message tells everyone that the party has been cancelled due to recent tragic events. With the state of the room, the notices we find about not bringing children to work, and the fact that the playground Edwin refers to must be the play park he got David for one of his birthdays, the one near the loading bay, the one he was warned would be too dangerous to have a kid near.
Look, I get your
See that one
refers to must be the
Oh,
play
yep,
park
there it is. That's the
been
one I was talking
cancelled
about.
due to recent tragic events. With the state of the room, the notices we find about not bringing children to work, and the fact that the playground Edwin refers to must be the play park he got David for one of his birthdays, the one near the loading bay, the one he was warned would be too dangerous to have a kid near.
Look, I get your concern. I do. But they're all just grounds. This is the perfect spot for David's playground.
It all adds up to this being the day that David died. On Saturday, December 6th, everyone was there gathered together just like Edwin had asked, only for M1 to go down to find David and report him dead.
Okay, everyone hide. Fiona, go get him.
Saturday was the day of the party, and that cancellation message was sent out the same day. December 6th was only on a Saturday once in the 1970s. 1975. Now, given
Ooh, okay, that was a smart pickup. That was a smart pickup they got there. Okay.
we have 5 film reels, you'd assume that would make this David's 5th birthday. And so his date of birth would be December 6th, 1970. However, I'm not entirely sure that's the case. Firstly, the achievement you get for entering David's party room is called Belated Birthday. And the icon is of a birthday cake with not 5 candles, but 6. And I think we all know that when you're a kid, the number of candles on your cake matters big time. I guess just like content creators, we all like seeing number go up. There's also the matter of the collectibles scattered throughout MCM. By gathering them all, you can boot up a minigame on the computers known as moon.exe. This thing is full of interesting details and symbolism that we will 100% be exploring in the future, but the detail that's interesting right now is the collectible called the Full Fest Snow Globe. When you find it again inside moon.exe, you can give it a shake, and we're given this description. Opening day snow globe. A wonderful day with all of us at Full Fest. It's worth noting that right behind this snow globe is a statue of a married couple. The man wears a bow tie, which is something we see associated with Edwin throughout the game. I mean, just look at the guy's logo. He loves bow ties.
Bow ties are cool.
This couple is supposed to be Edwin and Fiona, and so this line about Full Fest is tied to them. But the use of the word all here is telling. If it was just supposed to be Edwin and Fiona, it would have just said both of us or the two of us. But all implies a group, i.e. David is also present. Thanks to Help Wanted 2, the earliest Full Fest we know about happened in 1970. So for this to be a big opening day to the point where Fazbear creates a special snow globe, it's likely that it's that year being referenced, 1970. And if Scott cares at all about giving this series any kind of logical consistency, Full Fest would likely have to happen in the autumn. Fine, fall.
All right.
Here. With David's birthday being established as December 6th, it would be physically impossible for him to also be here on the opening day of Full Fest in 1970, because he wouldn't have been born for another couple of months. So he'd have to have been born at least a year earlier, making him at minimum 6. But then why only show us 5 videos? What happened to the missing birthday? Well, we already know that Edwin is too busy to focus on his kid, hence he made the mimic in the first place. Would it be out of the realm of possibility that he was so busy he didn't even celebrate one of his kids' birthdays? The game certainly seems to think so, because
Well, here's the thing though, is that there was the second film reel, he was too busy, but Fiona was the one recording. Yeah, he was too busy that day, the second birthday. So yeah.
Inside the Storytime showroom, you can find David's little den with all of his drawings on the wall. And one of them depicts a birthday with David surrounded not by family, but by characters. And he has a cake with 4 candles on it. Up until now, David's parties have always
Bro, how do they do this? Oh my gosh. Like, that's crazy, dude.
at his house, surrounded by
This isn't the first time that game theory, like, blew my mind this wide, but, like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, some of these things are just crazy they're able to find.
family, not by characters. We never see a video of him having...
Honestly, I heard Matt Pat was getting into politics. Nah, man, make him, like, a conspiracy theorist. Like, have him, like, look at the government and, like, everything so we can, like, figure out the answer to everything. Like, honestly,
a birthday surrounded by characters, which implies that this is a birthday not caught on camera. Edwin missed his son's 4th birthday. He was so busy trying to save the company and possibly even building M1 that he got his staff to dress up as characters and look after him instead. Then, a year later, David gets his big slide and suddenly M1 Fiona exists to take care of David. This puts David's 6th birthday in 1975, and therefore his date of birth is actually December 6th, 19...
What? Hang on, wait. What's belated birthday? What does that even mean? Celebrations are given late after the actual birthday has passed. So... Oh, wait, I get it. So the achievement's called belated birthday because we're entering 4 years afterwards. So it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I was gonna say, well, wouldn't it imply that it means that the birthday is not actually on that day? But
1969. Nice. From here, we can actually extrapolate a few other dates and start to put things into a rough timeline. We never get exact ages for Edwin and Fiona, but we do know that David was their first and only child. In the late 60s and early 70s,
Wait. Okay.
the average age of first-time parents was 21.4 years old. And looking at marriages in the late 1960s, the average man was 23, while the average woman was about 20 when they got married. If Fiona is following these averages, that would mean they pretty much had David just over a year after getting married, putting their wedding in 1968. On top of that, the average length of an engagement for a couple in the 1960s
Yo,
was
what up,
around
Leander?
just 3 to 6 months, with the ideal scenario being a fall engagement with a spring or summer wedding. And most would only have been dating for 6 months prior to that. So Fiona and Edwin most likely would have gotten engaged in the fall of 1967 and probably only started dating earlier that year. But as I've already told you, this relationship ends far too prematurely. One of the audio logs we find throughout the facility is a voice recording left by Fiona to Edwin explaining that she needs to go to one of their clients' events to make sure nothing goes wrong.
I have to go help the Fall Fest crew. I just have this terrible feeling like I need to be there so nothing goes wrong.
Now, remember that part of Moon.exe I mentioned earlier that shows us the married couple? The one representing Edwin and Fiona with the Fall Fest snow globe at their feet? Well, the woman's statue is described as being burnt and blackened. There's also a stall nearby that focuses on sewing materials, like a stand for someone who was maybe there to help with costumes and puppeteering, similar to what we know Fiona was capable of. That stand is also completely burnt down and destroyed. Putting all of that together, it clearly tells us that the event Fiona went to was
The Fall Fest.
the Fazbear
Yeah, we
Carnival
knew that.
we've been theorizing about for so long. And just as we've been predicting, it absolutely did end in fire, taking Fiona's life with it. Edwin breaks this news to David on his 3rd birthday, and as we've established, Fall Fest should happen in the fall just before that. So that puts Fiona's death sometime between September and November 1972. So, right now, our timeline looks like this. Edwin and Fiona start dating in early 1966.
67! 67! 1967! Okay, I'm gonna get... Yeah, everyone's gonna stop watching this now. Anyway, I'm not gonna watch this... I'm not gonna write this down because it's not necessarily, like, hard evidence, because they're just like, oh, the average is blah, this, that. So I'm not gonna write that down. But still, it's still very good, like, guesstimation.
They then get engaged in the fall of that year, which I'm now only just realizing might explain why they're in wedding outfits in Moon.exe. They're next to the Fall Fest snow globe. It's the same time of year, almost as if they're going to Fall Fest like some kind of anniversary celebration. Anyway, they get married in 1968 and have David in 1969. A few years passed, and in the fall of 1972, Fiona goes to Fall Fest and dies in a fire. Edwin then creates the Mimic over the next couple of years. But on the day of David's 6th birthday in 1975, David dies outside the facility. Edwin falls into a pit of despair. He tries to bring back David as M2, but gets angry, beats it up, and disappears, leaving M2 to roam the facility and Fazbear to grow impatient with Edwin's lack of deliverables, and so they send in Arnold to take what is theirs in September 1979.
Really fair prices, really nice internet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, here's the thing, though, is that he didn't set it free in the facility. It caused an explosion, or an explosion happened, and then he presumably bled out.
But there is one more date we're able to track thanks to all of this. The death of Murray Sr. Now, look, I know he may not seem like an important character in all of this. Let's be honest, he's kind of a footnote in the whole game. We only see his portrait a couple of times, and we only get 2 audio logs.
I didn't even see a portrait of him, dude. I've never even seen a portrait of him
mentioning him. But those 2 audio logs reveal a lot, not only about when he died, but also the final order of events for Murray's costume manor, and an interesting detail about our favorite singing bear company. In the audio log where we learn about Murray Sr.'s passing, it's a conversation between Edwin and Fiona. So,
what do you mean the new theorists suck terribly? Dude, they're cooking here. They're cooking. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. They're cooking, dude. I don't know what you're waffling about, bro, but I think they're doing quite well, at least here on this video. They're doing numbers, bro. Like we got what's it called? The event of the games, which I guess, yeah, that's written on a sheet of paper that's easily seen. But they calculated David's death and stuff, like all this stuff.
They do
like,
have to have at least met at this point. Plus, they seem quite close.
The company is going to collapse and they're all going to hate me.
And you'll figure it out. Just take a deep breath. It's your company now. Your dad believed in you. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left it to you.
She's being encouraging in the way that a supportive partner would and should. So they're most likely at least dating when he passes. But the real key comes from when you backtrack through the entire game to find this specific Mr. Helpful. I mentioned earlier how we get new permissions for our data diver throughout the game to access new areas.
Well, by the way, this is something I forgot to do. I remember in my secret, finding the secret stream for Secret of the Mimic, I forgot to do this when I was planning to. I forgot to go back.
That isn't the only thing you get to access. The Mr. and Mrs. Helpfuls throughout the facility also have different responses depending on the staff level that is talking to them. If you go back and find them all once you get executive level access, we actually start to hear messages recorded by Edwin or Fiona.
You know what, honestly, let's do this right now before we even get back into the video. Like, I'm gonna do that. Alright, there we go. Oh, no, I mean, no, for sure. We definitely all miss MatPat. Everyone misses MatPat. It's sad. We're sad for MatPat. RIP in the chat for MatPat. But he's in Fnaf heaven with Scott Cawthon.
Hey, buddy. This is Dispatch with Fazbear Entertainment.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that since we already know. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I think they were cooking in that, from what we've seen in those first 20 minutes.
Pulled up.
Good job.
Okay, and then here's also an opportunity for me to show you guys, like...
I'm sure you're right. Those motion sensors never tell the truth.
Okay. Well, how am I supposed to get in?
To access the building, you've been provided with a data diver tool.
Hang on a minute.
Good job. Well done. That data diver is your master key to the MCM facility. Do not lose it. Now get in there and retrieve our property.
Okay, so anyway, that's what I was saying. Now we can...
Over and out.
Now we can we can, like, see what I was able to find prior to, I did some stuff. What game is this? This is Secret of the Mimic, Leander. We were just talking about Secret of the Mimic, dog. This is Secret of the Mimic. But anyway, yeah, this is where I'm going to show y'all some of the stuff I was able to find. So here's that right there on the bottom. It's something about it looks like a construction company. And then, remember when we first played, I'm just like, these are Mystic Hippo cards. Which is interesting. And then here's the dates that we were given for, this is where it shows us what date this takes place. And then here's Roxy's Rootin' Tootin' Root Beer, which is weird. I don't know why that's a product at this point. And then I've never seen it before ever again. Whether that's with that product or anything else. But yeah, there's the Spring Bonnie bobblehead. That's a really cool, I think that's really cool little thing to put there. And then there's a vinyl. I don't know what the vinyl is. I'm just going to go through here, just speed through here a little bit. Okay, and then look at right there. There's another Fazbear Entertainment van. Interesting. I wonder why. I wonder what that's all about. There's a Fnaf movie in the Fnaf. You know what? That's a very good question. I wonder. Because with the whole Faz Fest thing that we saw in the second movie, I would imagine that I wouldn't be, or sorry, it's not that I wouldn't imagine. I would be surprised if there was not. Or I would not be surprised if there was. Okay, and then over here, there's, Edwin's playground, or sorry, not Edwin's, David's playground. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna try and speed through things here quickly.
Welcome, potential buyers, to Edwin Murray's Costume
Yeah,
Manor,
real.
the leading powerhouse in costume entertainment and carnival game technologies. Woo! Come in and see what Murray's can do for your carnival, amusement park, midway, or fun fair.
Well, I mean,
This client tour will show you just
think about the
what I'm
Hawk
capable
girl.
of.
All she said was
Get
Hawk
ready
and
to
she
be
got
amazed.
unbelievably
Don't
badly
forget,
popular. Or
every
that
one
6'7"
of my
kid.
creations
All he
are
said
available
was
for purchase
6'7".
or lease.
Internet blew up. Internet blew up because I 6'7".
Welcome!
How do I skip this?
The show's just begun. There's so much to be done. You want to be here to stay. It's a one-of-a-kind fantasy workshop where you'll quite simply be amazed.
Mr. Hippo, Monty. In fact, I never got a screenshot of these two. There we go. Yeah. We're gonna have to try and speedrun this. Oh, I didn't see it. Finally, we're done with that. I already watched this. I'm gonna do this very fast. Ah, I failed at the end there.
You're there, pick up.
Shut up, dispatch.
Hey, you made it. I knew you would. No one doubted you for a second. And those who did are now out $20.
$20.
Not that anyone here at Fazbear Entertainment was wagering if you would survive or not. I mean, how immoral would that be? But seriously, great job. Now that you're there, and it would be very difficult for you to turn back, I should probably level with you a little. We're still detecting movement in the building that you're in, and we have a little bit of an idea as to what it might be.
Yeah, the homicidal endoskeleton.
Stuff over the years, and unfortunately, it seems that one of his most creative inventions may have encountered some homicidal glitches in its programming.
Yeah.
These things happen, and I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. But you should probably. He was working on an endoskeleton that can adapt to any costume, character, large or small, with the ability to take on the persona of the character it occupies. With the addition of the aforementioned homicidal tendencies, of course.
1979, not 1990s, 1979. And I disagree. I think probably the most probably the most high-tech thing is the mimic itself, which, yeah. I guess there's a few things that are unrealistic, but I think, like, the kind of look of it doesn't seem too bad.
We'll be working on some ideas on how to neutralize this rogue endoskeleton. But in the meantime, just try to be quiet, careful, and focused on the task at hand. Always being mindful of the fact that this entity could potentially be inside any costume or character that you see. All right, take a deep breath and get back in there. Finish the job, and that $25 gift certificate is as good as yours. Right now, you should focus on finding a way...
Wait, hang on. Let me look this up. How much was $25 worth in 1979. Good thing we have AI so they could just tell us. Oh, it's roughly 111. Oh, wait, hang on. $111.61 roughly. That's nice.
Turn the power back on. Oh, good. You found the upgrade.
No. This Edwin's Murray. Okay, so this game is the first game to ever take place outside of a Fazbear branded establishment. So this place is not affiliated with Fazbear Entertainment at this point, except for their, what's it called? Their what's the word? Like working with Edwin, or like, why do I always forget this work? Commission. They're commissioned with Edwin.
It's very important that you update the data diver whenever you find an access station. This is not optional.
Holy Yapatron.
Over and out.
Okay. Oh wait, I forgot. Man, I wasted time. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess you could ask that about any company in that time. How did they fund? Like, I mean, it's a company. They founded it somehow. It's just like I'd say just like any other company in 1979. Founded it because they had a genius strong work ethic and a product that people were like, yeah, we could use that. That would be great.
Check. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Great news. Power has been restored to this wing of the building. Overhead paging works.
Come on back to the security office for further instructions. That was quick. So, let's talk about what you're there to find.
Homicidal endoskeleton, yada yada yada. Let me in.
Has encountered some unfortunate glitches, but that doesn't mean the idea isn't sound or valuable.
While he yapped, I'm gonna go
We
grab
think
some
that
water.
endoskeleton has a lot of potential, and that's why we want you to retrieve Murray's original schematic for it. And after you find that schematic for us, we can certainly try to maybe find a way to probably save your life from it. If that's not incentive enough to find the schematic, then I don't know what is. You get that schematic, and with some luck, you can deactivate that endoskeleton and collect it for us as well. I can just smell that $25 gift certificate, can't you? You need to reach Murray's executive suite. That's what the schematic most likely is. Your data diver doesn't have executive permission yet, so you can't get anywhere near it. Not a problem. We just need to find stations to upgrade your data diver until you can gain access.
No, 1979, not 18, 1979.
Before you go, take a hand crank for the security fence. Looks like you can get one from the inventory tube system.
No, 18. Holy Toledo, bro. No. That is. Nah, if that was the case, this game would take place in black and white, bro. Honestly.
Now, what are you waiting for? Keep on trucking.
Over and out.
The Mimic. Oh crap, come on. Forgot that one, Alrighty, perfect. Speed run. 1983. Yup, that's about 4 years before the bite of 83. Mail call. Oh, crap. Wait, am I not... Oh. I don't think I was supposed to go here yet. Whoops. Oh, wait. Oh, right. It's over here. Yo, what up, Grayson? Thanks for stopping in. Well, that was fast. We got, what's it called? Creator... No, what is it? Repair. We got repair permissions fast, bro. Fnaf marathon. Yeah, that would be great. Move! Well, I failed. Oh, wait, actually, wait, no. We still got this. Oh, I was clicking the wrong button. That's what was going on. Let's go! We screwed up, but we recovered. Remember, guys, where do you belong? Your data diver knows. Alright. There now. Mail call. Need a snappy delivery? I'm so sad we didn't get to see this dude at all in this game. He immediately gets murked.
Please select your method of delivery.
Wait, so what did that do exactly? Like, what was that supposed to do? Oh, is it supposed to open up the door? Wah, wah, wah. Oh man, I was gonna try and get to the door. Yup. Oh, no. In case of the event of a spring lock failure, please be sure to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out, as to not to ruin the customer satisfaction. Customer experience or satisfaction. Come on, why does this game do this? It's being weird. Oh, there we go. Got it. Really? It's gonna set me back that far? Please don't tell me I gotta get that upgrade again. Please tell me it saved the upgrade, bro. Come on. Yup, I got... What? Bro! That's crazy. Yeah, that's probably one of my... I'd probably say my favorite game. Yeah, I think maybe my favorite's probably Fnaf 3. I'm not really sure, though. Yeah, people hate on Fnaf 3 way too much. There we go. Yeah, I'd say in terms of horror, Fnaf 2 is really good. I mean, gameplay is very iffy. From the words of a phone guy, that one was always a bit twitchy. Yeah, that one's RNG is completely whack though. But yeah, I still like it though. I still like Fnaf 2. Let's keep going. It's not my birthday. No, you didn't. No, I'll pass. I'm not a huge fan of Ultimate Custom Night. That's just a me thing, I think. Bro, Jackie was all over the freaking commercial. That scene right there was, or actually, wait, no, I don't think that one. This one. That scene right there was in the trailer, bro. Like they were glazing Jackie so much in the trailer, bro, and then she's only here for this part. Like, they gave her the desktop icon, bro. Like, people will be like, 5 minutes of Freddy ain't scary anymore. I don't know what you want more from these chases. Like, obviously, I'm not scared, because I'm like, I am so desensitized to so much stuff, bro. I don't play horror games to get scared. I play for the lore. Like, bro, this chase scene, like, Secret of the Mimic has really good chase sequences, bro. Like, I think this is a really good chase sequence. Like with the stretching arms and stuff, like as you're running. And this part I think is really good. This one is really frantic. Like this, putting a thing right there, that one's a really, putting a, what's it called, whatever it's called. That part like makes the scene, that's like the icing on the cake. It makes it like so frantic. But they rely too much on breaking vents. Like, bro, like, I saw that when I first played, and I'm just like, oh no, it better not break. Let's take a look around here. Oh. Oh, I didn't even realize the security office is right there. But then wait, this doesn't make any sense. Then it breaks right here with the office over there. I'm not looking at you, so you don't exist.
Please respond. Over. Awesome. Glad to see you made it here without any complications whatsoever. So we did some digging to learn more about that bothersome endoskeleton that keeps relentlessly pursuing you.
I thought he's so casual
From what
about
we
it.
can tell, it was designed to keep Murray's son entertained while Murray worked.
Yappity McYap, bro. I didn't order all that happy yappy meal.
Exposed to some sort of violence, the details of which are a little fuzzy. This mimic endoskeleton then copied that violent behavior. We came up with some great ideas on how to protect yourself. Unfortunately, we came up with those ideas before the last technicians were sent in, and they ended up with less than positive results. So it seems
Didn't he mean, okay, if he said, didn't he mean after we sent them in? Because if you said it, if you came up with them before they were sent in, then you had them before they were sent in. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I might do Fnaf Plus.
Likely result in the loss of some limbs. The previous technicians considered it an honor to lose limbs in the service of their company, and I'm sure they would tell you that themselves if they hadn't died for blood loss. We expect you'll succeed when they fail. 1 out of 3 Fazbear employees has confidence.
There's one of the bodies.
So go get him, Tiger. I found the location of another upgrade station in the showrooms. You can get there if you head back through the welcome show. Check the monitor. I'm sending you a camera feed. Go there. Over and out.
This feels like having to re-listen to this stupid show is just adding to runtime, bro. That's just all it feels like, bro.
A new world awaits. Now it's time to explore. Step right up. Don't be scared. It's time to open.
There's no way I memorized that. There's no way. There's no way I memorized that, dog. Once again, I can memorize that, but I can't memorize a single thing in calculus. That is so dumb, bro. Oh my gosh.
Hello, employee. If you're listening, once the elevator is off, remove any obstructions from the exterior. When the machinery is clear of debris, rotate the hand crank clockwise to raise the elevator. Push the green button to open the hatch. You are now safe to get under the elevator. To realign the elevator, use the sliders to rebalance the load weight alignment doohickey. And please, bear in mind, if anything does go wrong, we want you to... Great. Now that I assume you are done with the alignment, use the diagnosis and repair function. Input the following code using the buttons. 4, 2, 1, 3, now, disengage the emergency brake and back up. Close the hatch. Reset the crank. Turn on the power, and you are done.
We are speeding through this. And the Mimic didn't even spawn in there. That's how fast I was. I'm so goated, bro. Okay, so yeah, there's one of the help... Oh yeah, and then the help station downstairs was one too. Boop. Boop. Actually, no, it goes boop. Boop. There, and then pull the lever, crunk.
Welcome to the Big Top Showroom Vestibule. Experience the latest in Carnival and Midway game technologies.
Found it a little goofy that the ticket doesn't slowly come out. It just boop. It just.
I want the grand prize. The grand prize is a mystery.
Ready, set, fire away. Some of our available themes include castle, rodeo, space, Great Barrier Reef, circus, and haunted house. Keep it up.
Too many
prize
ads. What do you mean
wheel.
too many ads?
Head over to the prize wheel to redeem your free spin.
No, come on, bro. I literally clicked the locker, bro.
Tickets, please.
Oh, wait. No. Bro. Bro, what am I supposed to do with this? Oh no, that's not good. Oh. Oh no, that's not good. Yeah. That's about right. First time I ever died to that, by the way. Anyway, you know what? How about this, guys? I'll go through... You guys seen me play this way too many times. I've already played this through, like, 4 times, dude. I tried speedrunning it, but you know what? It's just gonna take too long. Let's go back to the MatPat video. We don't need to do that. Yes, quit. Alright, now we'll go back to the MatPat
video. Directly addressing one another. And this one right here is very interesting indeed.
I've got something very important to ask you. Okay, here goes. You become the heart of this company, and I want to share it with you. And you're also really pretty, like asymmetrical pretty. So, will you marry me, please?
Yes, it's very nerdy and very sweet, just like how I proposed. The point is, during Edwin's awkward ramblings, he says this line.
You become the heart of this company.
You are the heart of the company. When they met, she was just a new employee. There's no way she would be that instrumental to the company and its quote-unquote heart. However, once Murray Sr. passed on and Edwin was left in charge, Fiona became his main collaborator. She is the one who cared for the employees and the company while Edwin was off making more crazy inventions. We can even hear her concern during the pre-recorded elevator repair tapes.
Please follow the instructions to reset the elevator.
Sounds scary.
It feels like she's reading a script and she's
yeah,
kind of
it
concerned
may
about what
already
she's
be over.
reading.
It's only once Edwin takes over that Fiona has the opportunity to fill the position as the heart of the company. And also, I mean, this recording is on a helpful. One of the things that Edwin would only have been able to install fully once he'd taken over.
Could start making
Oh,
some of
yeah.
my inventions.
Whenever heartburn.
Oh my gosh. And then, like, one of the things, like, what's it called? Yeah, he's like, when he first met Fiona, how would you describe it? Well, helpful. And this dude's name's Mr. Helpful.
All of that to say
one of
that
his
Murray
inventions.
Sr. died sometime between Edwin and Fiona dating and them getting engaged, placing it sometime in 1967. And
6'7", oh my gosh.
that's an important detail because while it seems early in most timelines for this franchise,
You know what, I'm gonna see how brain dead I am and see if there's anything in the thing about 6'7". This thing is long. This video is longer than the Fnaf 2 movie, by the way. That's crazy, bro. I didn't even realize that. And then with Freddy Fazbear in ancient Egypt, with how far the timeline keeps going back. Okay, bro. Imagine my disappointment when I realized this was a compilation of all Secret of the Mimic theories. Yeah, I'm just cooked. Everyone's talking. Nobody's talking about 6'7". I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
Murray Sr. appears to have some kind of connection with Fazbear Entertainment, even before he passes and hands the company over to Edwin. In a number of the audio logs you can find later on in the game, it becomes very clear that Edwin is getting a little bit paranoid.
Edwin, never forget, they're behind it. Don't trust them. Never tell them they want to destroy you. Dad was right.
Now, you may be asking, who is this them, and what is it he's not supposed to be telling them? Well, through another couple of audio and text logs, both of those answers become quite easy to figure out. In literally the next audio log you can obtain, Edwin tells us that there's a leak in the company.
I figured it out. There's a leak. Someone told them about M2. Well, they can't have it.
M2, the brand new mimic that can adjust to any costume and mimic any character or person, is what's being leaked. And with that in mind, the they becomes even easier to figure out. A bunch of the text logs have a consistent running theme. Working for Murray's Costume Manor sucks. They want out.
One more injury and I'm out of here. I mean it this time. Barb, I swear, if I hear that song one more time, I'm going to tear that dolly off her hinges. I have no clue how much longer I can take it here.
Some of them leave on their own accord, while others are being poached by a rival company.
We're almost there. I need the rest of the Murray staff contact info. The sooner the better. You get that from me, and I can sweeten the deal. How would you like to manage one of the new franchise locations? Wait,
we are almost there.
That's right, good old Willie A is here, and he's as evil a businessman
a man
as
behind the slaughter.
Fazbear is actively stealing not just employees, but their business secrets. So, it's Fazbear that is, quote, behind it. They are the ones who want to destroy Edwin, and he is reminding himself to not let them have the Mimic program. But do you remember the last thing he said?
Dad was right.
Dad was right. This mini paranoid speech is all about how Fazbear isn't to be trusted, and those words of advice came from Edwin's father. How? Because clearly Murray Sr. knew about Fazbear, Afton, and all of their shady business practices. Either because Murray Sr. was already in business with them prior to his death, or simply because MCM had been around for a while, and so he'd have likely seen how they operated and how small businesses they were working with suddenly disappeared. And so he made sure to warn his son about them. We all knew that Fazbear had been around a lot longer than we thought with the introduction of the 1970s Fall Fest poster in Help Wanted 2. But now it seems that they go back even further. Sure, it's only a few more years on paper, but just like everything in this game, we're being shown that we can't strictly rely on what we think we know as definitive. If we thought this prequel destroyed our understanding of the franchise, just wait until we learn about what was going on before all of this. First, it's a few more years into the 1960s, but who knows how far back it goes. Maybe Matt and I weren't so far off with the whole singing bear in the 90s.
I was gonna say, wasn't? Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't it go back, maybe not 1930, but I thought it was like 1950 or something. I don't know.
1930s. But with that, let's move on to our second character, the one-of-a-kind villain, the Mimic. Well, actually, despite me referring to it as the Mimic this whole time, the one key thing Secret of the Mimic was very clear about, it's really not one-of-a-kind at all, which, to be fair, is something we've been believing for a while now. In Tales from the Pizzaplex, we see two versions of the Mimic. The Mimic 1 program, which was the Mimic software that Edwin Murray created to put into a half-finished endoskeleton to play with his son David, which was then later used by Fazbear in The Storyteller, and then there's the Mimic 2, which was Fazbear's improvements on the original design, creating an endoskeleton that could change its shape and size to fit any costume or animatronic. However, how all of that tied into things like Security Breach and Ruin were pretty speculative, especially as we didn't even know if the book stories were in the same continuity and whether we could rely on them wholesale or not. My personal theory was that yes, those two Mimics were indeed present in Security Breach, with the Mimic 2 being the physical endoskeleton we find in the basement of Ruin, and the Mimic 1 program being what we now know as Glitch Trap, taking over Fazbear's systems and using it to manipulate people into doing its bidding, like Helpy does to Cassie in Ruin, which is why we get this interaction between Helpy and the totally real Gregory arguing.
I took care of it. The area's safe now.
But now we do have a definitive backstory for the Mimic inside the game continuity. It turns out that yes, there are indeed two in-game Mimics, but there are some key differences from their book counterparts, and that drastically changes our entire understanding of Security Breach, Ruin, and the program that was trying to keep the Mimic underground. Mexes. So hop into that definitely working elevator, friends, as we plummet down into the depths of Murray's costume manor to discover the real secret of the Mimic. So what does this game actually tell us about the game universe's version of the Mimic? Well, like most things in this game, it's similar but different to what we were expecting. Edwin does create the original Mimic, M1, to babysit David.
Think of it as your new babysitter, but it doesn't get paid and go home. It'll stay with us and help around the house.
But he also...
I like to imagine that he didn't just let the naked endoskeleton watch him, because honestly, for a child, I would imagine that would be quite horrifying. But as we saw at David's birthday party, it was in fact naked. So I don't know why Murray thought that wouldn't be too creepy at all for him, but yeah.
States that it was created to work inside multiple costumes.
It'll wear fun costumes. It can fit into any costume we've created.
Essentially, the game's lore has combined the purposes of the books M1 and M2 into one creation, and attributed all of it to Edwin, rather than one being a Fazbear creation, just like basically everything in this game. But this M1 also develops a little more than its book counterpart.
This is where I heard it. It's her or someone that sounds like her.
That's good, honey, but into the party.
M1 begins showing signs of mimicking the deceased wife of its creator, literally mimicking the role of David's primary caretaker, his mother, Fiona. As we discussed last time, Fiona tragically died in a fire at Fall Fest, and this totally destroys Edwin's mental state.
I can't do this alone.
So, naturally, when he starts thinking he's hearing the voice of his wife, he leans in hard. By David's last birthday, M1 is still not wearing any costumes like Edwin said it would, but instead it is mimicking Fiona perfectly. Baking a cake, hanging decorations, all of that good stuff.
I baked it myself for David's special day.
This is where Edwin's second tragedy strikes. M1 Fiona goes down to get David while everyone is waiting to celebrate him, only for them to discover that David is dead. Again, Edwin is destroyed by this. But this time, M1 Fiona is here, and she has a quick and easy solution.
You need to try again. Build another.
The two go back and forth over this for a while, but eventually Edwin gives in and begins attempting to make a new mimic that will mimic his dead son. However, it doesn't really seem to be working.
Every copy has failed. I don't even know why it worked the first time, but it did.
The only reference Edwin has for the mimic idea working is M1, which leads to Edwin's final gambit. In one of the text logs we receive after meeting M1 Fiona during the parachute ending, it says the M2 began as a copy of my program. This log has been sent by M1 to Edwin's machine. In order to make M2 work, Edwin simply made a copy of her programming. I guess if you can't figure out how it worked the first time, just duplicate the thing.
Alright, y'all, while we're at the 30-minute mark, I think I'm gonna... I just suddenly lost, I lost a lot of energy, so we're gonna end off the stream here today. I think we did a pretty nice... Yeah, we did a good length one. But, alright. But, yeah. So, yeah, we're learning a lot about Secret of the Mimic. There's still a lot... Yeah, we're obviously... Next time we're gonna watch this video, too, so...